In this video, I want to walk you through 4 traits of top sales teams. Trait number 1 is when AEs are so hyper focused on driving maximum deal size that they're also hyper focused on minimizing and automating as much of the pipeline generation minutia as possible. Trait number 1, automate, automate, automate. Here's why. Top salespeople need to conserve as much of their focus as possible on creating so much value in each deal that it becomes a mega deal. This means minimizing time spent on things like manual outbound and pipeline generation. But they still need to generate pipeline and want to have that surplus of pipeline to exceed their quota and hit their number. So instead, they automate, automate, automate. They're leaning on as many resources as they can to drive efficient outcomes. And one way you can implement this is by either using Unify or partnering with your marketer or your BDR, whoever is best support for you, to automate your best pipeline generation and outbound plays so that you can focus on the most important stuff, which is closing big deals. Trait number 2 is top sales teams use Unify across the entire funnel. They're not just thinking about it in terms of actioning on website visitors or even just purely cold outbound. They're thinking about it in terms of getting coverage over a territory on top of upcoming renewals or consistently driving expansions based on usage data that they're feeding into Salesforce and then actioning on into Unify. Unify is not just a top of funnel tool, it can be used to automate anything. That's why we call it a system of action for revenue teams. If you're a seller that does both land and expand, don't forget to use Unify for your expansion motions to show you hand raisers or signals where accounts are engaging with you so that you can meet a new person and expand that account. If you're a sales leader or a RevOps leader, think about using Unify to automate these kinds of expansions across your entire book of business. Don't wait for the sellers to come up with the automations. Instead, think about the key signals that show when an account is ready to expand or what needs to be put in place before a renewal to ensure that it's most successful, and then programmatically automate that using Unify and plays. Trait number 3, partner tightly with your growth and marketing teams. Marketing and growth can do so much for you, and we know this as sellers. This is a no-brainer, but it's important to continue to be a squeaky wheel and communicate to them what you need. If you know an outbound play is going to work for your company, but you don't have time to implement it and automate it for the entire business, tap your marketing and growth team on the shoulder and relay that feedback to them because they have the bandwidth and the skills to implement this kind of thing company-wide. Last but not least, a trait that we see across top sales teams and top growth and marketing teams that use Unify is they often have one person dedicated to automating outbound. This doesn't have to be a salesperson or a BDR. It could be a growth person. It could be someone on BizOps or RevOps. But essentially, one person is owning automated outbound as a channel or AOB as a channel, and they're owning the outcome that this channel eventually drives hundreds, if not more, meetings booked per month. If you're a sales leader, a revenue leader, RevOps leader, I highly recommend figuring out who the best person at your company is to own this kind of channel because that could be a game changer for meeting your pipeline generation goals. So to recap, the top 4 traits that we see of top sales teams that use Unify is 1, top sellers automate as much as possible so that they can focus on big deals. 2, use Unify across your entire funnel, not just top of funnel and not just warm outbound. Unify is a system of action for automating and driving revenue growth across the entire company and across your entire book of business. 3, partner tightly with marketing and relate to them what's working in the field so that they can automate it and amplify it for the entire company. And last but not least, find one person that can focus on owning automated outbound for you so that you can consistently drive hundreds of meetings booked per month using just this one channel. Thank you so much and see you in the next video.